You don't know what I was saying, and that's because if you understood any of that, then we would have had that thing from the novel where if we are both aware of what it is, then it's over. It becomes aware of us and the universe we live in. Anyway, while I'm here, I'm just going to quickly say hello to a bunch of people. Hello to Glickspurt and Sam Wellbell and Long was here and Twilight Phantom 2969 and Mimicry 9984 and TFA Cliff and Sport Peppers and Lana Joe 87 and Mischievous Turtle and Tombot 74, Oma Ender, Disconnected 22, Mistake Boy, Adam Rockmore 6410, Chris Muse 986. Where was that one I skipped over? Lee Calba. There was someone else I missed last time that this didn't happen. Red Snarl. That's who it was. Red Ghost 97 and Synthetic Pacifist. We did it. Wait, there's more. Mozotron and Logos Minor. Champion of Brave 7543 Musekai Shadow Scribe. We did it. Mimicry works. The edit work got rid of the numbers. Yeah, I know. You're saving me so many syllables. By the way, I made this work again. It's smaller, but that is the price we pay for making it work again. Chris Muse, it's the number the government gave you on your name. I don't, just a random yellow Pikmin 6111. Yeah, Canadian tax time. TFA Cliff, you got a haircut's very cute and you enjoy it. Good. I feel the same way whenever I get one. Although they always do the styling way too, like, current dude. You know, like the current style. For lack of a better term, the way that, like, the current male hairstyle, good or bad, tends to be, like, some pivot of the Hitler. So they always go, like, oh, do you want any product in your hair? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay. And then take a comb. And I'm like, okay, well... in my mom's words, I look like a tech bro who's going to sell some bitcoins. Dylan Abbott, default male hair spawn. So it is. So it goes. And I don't mind it because it's like, whatever. I'm going to wash my hair and then do it myself like the next day. So I'll just look funny. Nova Scotians in the chat. Yeah, I think Nova Scotia is where I heard a particular card game soon to be new to the country may have gotten... a little bit of a community started, but I might be mistaken. I have to... That was a conversation I had the other week. But today we're doing the beach episode. Then some confetti, and then we flash cut, and a whole bunch of your favorite characters all going, "Ara!" And we're there. My own personal beach, however, is going to be to plug a code. Look, it's the new Toy Hacks code for the month, Cutie Vangelus. Already, I think the first comment was, why is that the code? And then before I could respond, someone replied, because he felt cute. And you know what? You got me. So our code for this month, if you are buying adhesives from Toy Hacks, you can use Cutie Vangelus to get that discount. That discount, of course, also feeds the machine, which helps the channel, which feeds the machine. Who's Theodore Tugbote? I think I fought that guy once. Are the adhesives huffable? Anything is huffable if you try hard enough, and also make sure that you steam your nostrils beforehand. You want to have some good... lubrication and also flexiveness in the muscular walls therein. Can you volunteer to be food for said machine? No. The only food for the machine is to use the code. That's a very strict diet, and it's one that I can't alter at this time. Where did that E come from? I don't know. That's what they said at the rave. Please do not sniff the hazard. Yeah, do not huff the hazardous chemical. Unsupervised. We're going to be doing some stuff today, which involves a lot of box ripping. That's kind of the whole crux of what we're doing today. Some of you guessed it. Some of you guessed who our guest is. And our guest is very plainly, yeah, it exists. This was thanks to Face Forward entirely. That this guy exists here in the real world, not the fake world that everyone else lives in, where they all customized beachcombers while telling me that this toy was real. Now the toy exists, and it's okay to acknowledge that it's real. Much like with Thunderhoof, with Warrior Class Thunderhoof, we went through this once before, and now we're out the other side, and everyone's for the better. Energon Cliffjumper. Oh, hey, listen, we can't spoil 2027 on this packaging. Yeah, W Paradise Parakeet. Bigger billing than Beachcomber on the package. Deserved, by the way. Where's my little clippers? I'm gonna need them. Because we got to make sure that we carefully get the tape off the bottom of this package. We don't want to have this tape, like, you know, ripping some of the art design and printing on the outside of the cardboard. That would be unfortunate. By the way, you would not believe the testing that I did by myself, talking for minutes at a time without breathing, entirely, to try to ensure that these texts here don't, like, just stop for several lines of me still talking. Now they always reset no matter what happens, so we don't lose lines. It works now. I still don't know how GitHub works, but it works now. Anyway, we're just gonna do this, and after all this time, right, we cut the tape, we're gonna get in there and make sure that we most importantly get Paradise Parakeet out of here. That's the danger, right? Because I heard, thanks to user reports, I heard that it's not impossible to lose Paradise Parakeet in this cavernous packaging. Ah, yeah, the nest. Pre-orders are still open for this guy here. Expected arrival October 2025. You know, it's gonna, as soon as October 2025 comes around, you just wait. It'll be worth it. By the way, happy February. Welcome to Lover's Month. Welcome to Ventricle Month. I don't know. Listen, I just like ventricles. Wow, I was actually going to say, where's the bird? The bird, like, was tucked under a fold and then, like, fell through my fingers. That's a tiny... Can I put the bird on the gun? Yeah, of course I can. Ah, there we go, as God intended. Perfect. It's, Oh, yes, it is also Black History Month. Which is a little bit more important than ventricles. I mean, you need ventricles to survive, but, you know, that's just bad design on the dev's part. I didn't point the gun at the bird. I put the bird on the perch. No, the Evo Fusion isn't that. The Evo Fusion comes later. What is this scunge in here? Look at that. There's some paper snot stuck onto the inside of my gun bumper. Ew. Now I gotta get this plastic nonsense off him. Don't keep the bird on Beachcomber for too long; it'll melt the plastic. I want a bird-shaped imprint on Beachcomber because I feel like that would be in character for Beachcomber's desires. That would be one way to become one with this planet. Ewo Fusion. Owo Fusion. I am actually realizing, though, that because this gun is coated in thick, goopy black paint, that probably is the first thing that would get eaten alive by plasticization transference, should that occur. Customize him with white splotches of bird poo. Ew, you defecate, you biological human. Beachcomber 100% would get a bird tattoo if he was an ROTF. I could see that. If you squidge the bird too much, the paint will come off. Ooh. I have to make sure I get the paint match for this Paradise Green. Oh, wow, they painted the bird's eyes. I can't possibly show you that on this webcam, but the bird has white eyeballs and dotted pupils. That's wild. Anyway, I do have, I should say, I think I opened it on stream. I do have, is Ruckus. So I have experienced the weird tall version of this mold. But this is my first time with Beachcomber with the vaunted rubbery tires. That's not typically how bird eyes look. Well, this is a paradise parakeet, so this is a special bird. I know that we do have to do some science here. I believe this is quite possible. Ah, yeah, that's quite possible. I also just, I don't know, I get a kind of like sick perversion out of putting Beachcomber into fight poses. Because, like, they never do it in the media, so I gotta do it by myself. That's the kind of attention to detail A-listers like Paradise Parakeet get, that's right. Look at that, it's Battle Beachcomber. The bird with the kaleidoscope eyes. I'm gonna give Beachcomber a gun. Wait, where's his, doesn't he have a bird patch? Yeah, here we go. Stick the bird into the bird hole. Oh, sticking a 5mm rubberized peg into a rigid ABS hole is difficult. There we go. Important question, Butterscotch or Jolly Rancher? I mean, this feels a little bit more Jolly Rancher to me. It doesn't have that inherent flexiveness of a Butterscotch. You could stick that in Studio Series. Actually, that's Mitty Collection, Optimus Prime's Abdomen Void. Yeah, I'm excited about the prospects of all the things you can stick into the gut of both that robot and that truck. Oh, I mean, if you got good Jolly Ranchers, go with Jolly Ranchers. But I guess if you want to like draw, well, no, because it's Jolly Rancher is a suck candy, so you can draw that out too. I like drawing out the chewing of a butterscotch, but if you got a good flavor crystal of Jolly Rancher in front of you, Bird Eye and Alternachat. I hope this is someone who used a good photography machine. Oh, they did. That's good. I like that. Oh, I'll look at that in browser in a bit. I want to mess with this some more. Butterscotch or disc, there is no chew. Oh, Jolly Rancher. Oh, you know, Wave Sign's got it. Just have them at the same time. Just put one in the left cheek and one in the right cheek. And then, like, go to Flavor Town when they touch in the middle. This can go on this shoulder peg, right? Right? That's what's in that photo. Yeah, look at that. Aw. Cutie. Yeah, Beachcomber, famously depicted with a gun. It's his peace gun. It shoots love. I kind of wish that the parakeet was a more vibrant green. I don't know. It feels like it would be more suitable to the fantasy of what's going on here. That being like a bird with, you know, human eyes. I wonder. I know. I don't know if I have it here, but I actually have, I think, some recently freed up tiny Ziploc bags, and I can't wait for Paradise Parakeet to live forever in a tiny Ziploc bag in the void. Tell them about the Hagen bit. I don't want to spoil it, because also I don't know where it happens in the video. But there, in the Hobo with a Shotgun video that Diamanda Hagen just put up, there is a moment wherein I was requested to deliver a certain vocal delivery of a different piece of media's narration. And so I watched a fake trailer about 8 times in a row trying to nail down a voice and didn't quite get it, but you know, I gave it my darn tootinest, and I also made sure I didn't peek too hard. But it sounds like it turned out well. Oh, Skysu, you came back from watching Iron Lung. Yeah, I want to see that movie. It sounds like it's something I would enjoy. Uh, Long has it been the dream that, like, YouTuber to feature film big screen would be something more than apparently game theory guy saying his catchphrase in a FNAF movie once. I'm glad that we are now, above that lofty goalpost. Um, I don't know if I'm going to catch it in a theater, but I would very much like to take a look at it, because I saw only one clip of a behind the scenes, which is showing the sort of theme park ride capsule they built to film a lot of the film in, being jostled around with fake blood being pumped into it and a muffled screaming voice inside, and someone was like, "Director's in there," and I was like, "All right, respect, that's good." But yeah, I'm the other YouTuber horror movie, Shelby Oaks. I don't even know what that is. That's my problem. Is I attribute YouTuber on the big screen to the MacPat, I assume, cameo that is apparently in FNAF. But yeah, Iron Lung is a short horror game. It was just like, one of those one person, I believe, development teams. It's very short. It's very atmospheric. I quite like it. It's got a cool bit that it's doing. It's the kind of thing that when someone says, YouTuber who seems to have some interest in film production wants to make a movie of it, I'm like, all right, cool. That's the kind of thing to make a weird horror movie out of. Yeah, that's what I hear. It's like solid 7.5. I have, I don't know a lot of Iron Lung lore, because I was seeing that game before it had the lore patch. But it's just the very concept of it. It's like, no, someone's gonna do, like, a weird horror feature. Like, go for it. That seems like a solid thing. Shelby Oaks ties into a horror series on YouTube. Ah, okay. So there's homework. Alright, so I forgot how Ruckus worked. I'm gonna turn Beachcomber into a vehicle. But yeah, I'm very happy to hear. Oh, this is how it works. So you undo that, and then there you go. I'm very happy to hear that film has been enjoyable for some folks, and at least, like, fun to talk about for other folks. If not, like, a solid 7. Ain't nothing wrong with, like, your first major attempt being a solid 7. Oh, we're vehicling all right. I recently met up with my friend Jacob for the first time in several weeks, and we had a fun catch up, and I was talking about the short film I want to make sometime. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna make my short film that I want to make. Well, I have several I want to make, but the one that's most on my mind. My whole goal is just to make an animatic, and then I'll be satisfied. Because the cost of making movies on the indie, like, make an indie short that's stylish and whatnot, there was, like, a cost, as I understood it, there's a cost disparity that rapidly grew. Which maybe something like Iron Lung, being made on the, modest in context budget of like $3 million. Maybe that will open more avenues again. But it was fun to talk to Jacob about my thing, because I was trying to walk him through one of the major clear sequences in my head, and it was very nice that after we finished, Jacob was like, no, I see it. And I was like, all right, sick. All right, well, where does the parakeet go? Where does the... Oh, back here, I see. I was about to say, like, instant grade down if we did not have our Paradise Parakeet slot. But there we go. So the bird can ride. The rubber wheels can roll. Hey! Size comparison time! I did good. Look, it's Beachcomber and Minibots. And an auspicious topic to be covering in the shadow of the official reveal of Age of the Prime's Power Glide. But I am enjoying the deluxe Minibots in general, right down to Yonder Kingdom Warpath, or the OG of OGs, Hubcap, the real one. Hubcap, by the way, mildly affected by some kind of transparency I have on here for the sake of the chat box window. I don't entirely remember what it is, but when I was setting my exposure, I'd put him out here, and then I was like, what the hell is going on with him? So, yeah, what the hell is going on with him? It means he's becoming kind of green when he catches reflections. So anyway, the OG hub. Now, does your hubcap do this? No? Then what's wrong with your hubcap? Wow, I guess you got a broken one. But yeah, I am enjoying the mini-bots. I want to make them all into robots, because it makes me happy to do so. Did the same thing in Sins of the... Listen, it's just in character. It's thematic action feature. But yeah, the only one that I am not chasing down is the Retro Series Bumblebee, because I don't need that mold. I got Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, and I've got the real version of that mold, hubcap. So, like, I'm all set. And then if I want bumper, they made a bumper. It'd be nice if they made, like, a more real bumper, but, you know. Beggars can't be choosers, and buffet eaters gotta have the pizza someday. By the way, it goes without saying, you know, there is acres of praise for retro version gears. Well-deserved, but, like, every version of this mold is a happy place. Looking forward to Swerve, so that I get, you know, another color of this mold, what I like. What do you have against buffet pizza? Lived experience. Also, I live in a pizza town. Makes you a pizza snob. It's like I'm a burger snob, because I moved here just in time for the burger fad. Although, my burger snobbery is usually quite justified, because for the most part, it's just me catching when a joint is trying to sell $16 burgers that I can detect came from Frozen. Because it's like, brother, you can't just be Holy Chuck or Burger Priest because you're in Toronto. You gotta actually make the hamburger. Thank you. Adjust my monocle. There we go. Picture sidewalks have pepperoni and cheese on the trees. I'm not at liberty to talk about our national secrets. Yeah, Tomato Town, that's a sauce town. That's, derogatory. They say the people of Tomato Town are pretty acidic in their personalities. No, a rich guy thinks Boston is a pizza city. One of the Dragon's Den dragons had a pizza in Boston once. Even Braun is starting to phase shift. Wait, does yours not? Maybe you should get a Braun that works. You gotta stand up for your consumer rights. Don't let them be lazy and sell you a phaseless Braun. I didn't look at where some of this stuff went the first time around, but I think it was just like a little Faraday cage of heal. There, yeah, there we go. Right? Right? Yeah, right? Every day I learn about cities that think they are insert food here. Cities think something about Montreal-style bagels. Yeah, there's, well, Montreal has the Montreal smoked meat, which is referred to exclusively as, quote, Montreal smoked meat. Oh, is there? No, it just, okay. I was wondering, like, as I didn't look at this when I was moving it out of the robot configuration, I was like, what made this feel locked in there? Kind of nothing, actually. It's just an implied tactile oomph. Like, I'm fine with it, you know, it'll happen. You'll get oomphed now and then. My brawn whispers the secrets of forgotten gods a moment. Yeah, that's right. Well, you've got a good copy. You've got a good normal copy. She smoked my meat. Well, yeah, they all do. That's why it's all made there. It's like living in a I was gonna say a pastrami town. I don't know why. I just saw an Instagram video of like someplace making pastrami, and it was like this just big jiggly charcoal lump, and they were like slicing pink shards off of it, and it felt mythical. But yeah, Beachcomber, finally. The world is at ease. Can I make them? Oh, geez. I can't do this constantly for every group shot, but I mean, like, while we're all here. The discourse over Nexus Prime is more importantly, in my opinion, that when everyone's sad and it's the weekend and something drops to yell about, people will find their outlets for a little bit of, you know, emotional safety. It'll happen. The world's a freaky place right now for all kinds of reasons. Much like the day that Legacy Deluxe Animated Bumblebee first manifested with the shoulders looking funny. Friendships were lost that morning before everyone forgot it happened about a week later. Yeah, there's a Nexus Prime petition. There's, you know, there's people, like, laying out their blood debt with Auteur, Mark Marr. I was kind of muttering about that on Blue Sky, but, like, I already was semi-witness to, like, completely misguided Auteur theory where people were sort of coming out of the woodwork, like, you know, the known crimes of the John Warden regime, and it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, people were getting super weird about the Bumblebee whose shoulders were mistransformed, and then the shoulders were transformed, and everyone just, like, pretended it never happened and moved along, and it's like, all right. I made a point that day. I was like, I'm gonna remember, because I'm waiting for the day that someone who was there says, what do you mean discourse around that Bumblebee? And then they have a moment where they like, snap back into the Bernstein Bears universe and go like, oh my god! I punched my friend in the face over that! I forgot I used to have that friend! We got the Dab Squad. It's hard to make them look cool in this shot, but they're a little fuzzy. It's because I have the focus up here, because this is where I get to wave stuff more usually. There's the VOD. No, the VOD. I made the VOD thumbnail. You already saw it. I did the nice trimming of things so the tree is in front of the hovercraft sand. That was using layers. Hello, Verspringen. What's the discourse about Nexus Prime? Oh, it doesn't, I mean, as I said while it was happening, it doesn't matter anymore. The Nexus Prime discourse was that it's Saturday, and new toy pictures have shown up unofficially, and one of them looks goofy. And, you know, it's Saturday. That means we have all of Saturday and Sunday to make this the entire story of our weekend. And people were very loud, and then in about, say, 30 to 60 days, most of them won't remember they did that. Not to be a little bit snide about it, but generally when those kind of little like weekend blowups happen, I just maintain most of you will forget you did this in about 30 to 60 days, because they will. Anyway, the Dab Squad is maintaining the rear guard, because this is not the only thing we're opening today. No. We're also opening completely unpredictably, as though it was not perhaps a relevant object that takes up at least 25% of the entire thumbnail for this stream. Also going to open up this guy, who is all over Walmarts in Canada still. There's racks of this dude all over the place. Now, of course, we have to open the bubble carefully, because, you know, this was put together by artisans, handcrafted in the window mines of Nova Scotia. So we got to make sure that we're using proper Power of the Force collection technique to dismember this bubble from its card. Card, by the way, highly warped by the very funny humidities of my apartment versus the outdoors right now. Oh no, you did. I wasn't really talking about Nexus. I was talking about the Nexus discourse, and that, like, nobody's gonna remember they did it in about a month. You want some real discourse? You go back to Usenet days when people are like, hey, we Power of the Force collectors invented this way of knifing bubbles, and then Transformers fans, trans fans as they were called at the time, all going like, but no, we invented it, and then we had a big fist fight, and Star Wars was like, we will never collaborate with Transformers, and who was right? Who was right and who was wrong? Yeah, think about it. The most incendiary thing I did for Nexus Prime Discourse was I used my phone to make a 3-minute clip of the Nexus Prime segment from the video they posted today, because there is already a very extremely goofy screenshot going around off Twitter of someone saying, "Frame confirmed!" One of the few things that is specifically never said in the video that was posted on Hasbro Pulse today. So I made a clip in the hopes that, like, if we aren't at least going to, like, watch 3 minutes of the free YouTube video, maybe someone spoon-feeding it onto a social media feed will at least have it be a part of the discourse, as opposed to a screenshot that is mostly correct, but very critically incorrect. It was just the speed at which it was like, look, they said a frame is confirmed, and I'm like, what are you? No, that's actually, like, literally the one thing they didn't say. Also, I don't know if you know this, and, you know, we don't all have iPhones, right? I'm not sure if Androids can do it, but if you at least have, like, an Apple smartphone, you scroll up on the right-hand part, you pull down the top of the right-hand part of your thing, and there's a little red button that says record. And so if you turn on a YouTube video and then hit record, you can record a clip of the YouTube video, then you can trim it in the photo viewer that's built into the telephone, and then if it's under 3 minutes, you can put that clip onto Blue Sky. So, that's where maybe a little bit of my slightly mean-spirited, documentation vibe was coming from, because also it's a goddamn sub 20-minute YouTube video. Like, someone take the 17 minutes to write down the time code. I don't know. Chris, why don't you do it? Because I didn't think I had to do everything. Like, I know I'm Transformers years old, but there are people around who are older than me. Um, surely someone could make a clip. I thought I was just looking at the time, and I think it's the year 2026. I kind of figure that someone has the ability to make a clip of a YouTube video. I don't know. I'm just making guesses. I am also asking for the world. Oh, the yellow thing is happening to Sea Spray as well. Holy moly. So again, does your Sea Spray do this? If not, return it, because it's clearly broken, whereas mine works perfectly. Why do his knees click? That's weird. Yeah, this is an authentic Sea Spray. Thank you. He can't swing his legs forward with his waist twisted. That's weird. Because he's got a diaper. And if it's, like, straight on, there's room for him to swing his leg forward. But then when he's like this, his leg, like, stops there. See, it's, like, bumping. It's odd. Diaper. Matt R75. I saw a quick strike at my local EB Games. As I looked at it, someone looked at it and then went to line up. So then I went to line up, because the deluxes, right, are security locked to the pegs now at EB Games, because of, things that happen. So the guy in front of me said, "Oh, I want to buy a Transformer, that one." And then I got out of line and went home. So I did see one once the other week, and I left without it of my own volition. Yeah, I mean, the Titan's Return Wind Charger and Sea Spray both are very magical toys. I don't see this as a replacement because he's taller. He's just another one. Could have stolen the parking lot. No, this is downtown Toronto. There's no parking. You didn't inflict violence to get it? Odd. And yet you live in a society. Strange. You have 5 fingers attached by knuckles and tendons with bone structure, and yeah. To me, it's just there's different Sea Sprays, because we've had so much Sea Spray that now we've got the little ones, we've got the big ones, we've got the ones in between, we've got the third-party one that apparently I have the only surviving copy of. I don't know. You deny your blade its purpose. My blade does not thirst wantonly. My blade has discipline, as do I. I've watched a lot of anime. Oh, that's why this feels weird. There's a rubber band. Okay. Which third-party one is yours and yours alone? It's one of the prototype playtimes. I can't remember the company, but it comes with Robot Mermaid Girl. And people have started saying, "Hey, do you want to sell that?" Without making an offer, to which I was like, "No." And then I went to look up a few things, and then I was like, "No." You can do the Apache Chief Get Big sequence with all the Sea Sprays. I could, but like I said, my blade does not thirst wantonly. It has discipline, as do I. Do I ever fold his hand away, or is there just a rivet in there for him to do this? Because that's kind of baller, if so. I assume I don't do it. Yeah, there's no seam or anything. Does your blade cut wontons? I'm not allowed to answer that for legal reasons. But, my nose was itchy. Much like my Make Toys tailgate, looking at the price only strengthens my resolve not to sell it. Yeah, that's Like, I'm currently actually trying to sell things on Blue Sky because business ain't booming and I want some money. But regardless, there are still things of mine that I like too much. And there's things of mine I don't like enough to not want to... What the hell? Relieve myself of the company of. So I'm putting those up first. Do not ask the secrets of my dumpling scimitar. Correct! We will have decorum. Delicious, tasty decorum. Soft, yet steamy on the inside, but just a little bit crispy on the outer edges. Is the yellow trying to chroma key? No, mine just works. If yours doesn't do this, then yours is broken, and you need to get it replaced. What do you fill your dumplings with? Knowledge. Found a moving part. I'm just guesstimating my way through this transformation. If there's like a part that like breaks easy, do let me know. I would like to not do that. Verspringen, do you want a gyroscepter? Which DBZ sparking character should I play? I mean, if you can access what's his name, Hercule, Dr. Lucifer, I mean, you should probably play him. Whoa, whoa, stuff is going on. Yeah, Agatha Christie's Dragon Ball Z. It's one of my favorite pieces of literature. I read books now, okay? What's going on? Right, so these come down here. That swivels. Yeah, it's one of the powered suits little thingies. It's also a model kit. What they didn't tell you back when those came out is that the gyroscepter and the other one were basically model kits. This is exactly where it had me going, huh? Oh, okay. So desne. Oh, wait, I see something. No, wait, I did that already. Dakara. I keep going up here. I should lift this back up. I would say don't worry too much about Sentai cancellation because like the thing that they're going to make next is incredibly Sentai coded. I don't know if that's a hot take. It's just like that's kind of, how it's kind of how it looks. There we go. Oh! I see. Hello, not so southern gentleman 2970. No, it's interesting to see like what Toei is doing with that stuff moving forward. Wait a second. Like it's kind of like finally seeing the ever turning wheel of change hitting something that seemed not unchangeable, but you know its bedrock was just like sticking around for decades and decades. I see. There's one thing that my mom taught me that I think was very valuable. It's that it is better to enjoy the inevitability of change within reason. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of like this little guy. I see why some folks bounce off him. I feel kind of like I forgot. Oh, I did forget to flip something up. Hello. Oh, it's not too late. It's never too late. It's another thing I've learned. This is not a knife. I was gonna freak you all out and just use a knife. Let the record show, I never forgot a transformation step, I simply decided not to know it. You can learn more about my philosophy if you purchase my self-help course, available on... I don't know where the... Kick. Is there... Okay, I guess I should just ask. Is it folly to think that there's like a funny, fancy way to store the gun in here, or am I just supposed to stick it in a hole on the side like that? Like, I would like to think there's a funny way to fit a gun in. The gun doesn't go in there. I mean, there's a whole gun-sized space down there. It sucks. I always love it whenever this happens, and I'm like, hey, does it? And then, like, at least one other person goes, like, who is completely in tune with the vibe, is just like, no. No. It gets put by the head on a dedicated port. I do see this funny little hole here, so where's the... Oh, oh. Wow, okay. Really rich... Okay. Oh, that's fine. Okay, it's fine. It can point up and down. It's fine. Yeah, this figure's fine. It is kind of odd this was heralded as, like, the praise lord of the mini-bots for a month or two last year. But, you know, I don't think it's bad. He's fine. He's a Kingdom Warpath who is also fine. You pay like a deluxe price for a deluxe. He's fine. I think he's cool. Definitely, like the world is held down by the existence of gears. Swerve was, you know, born with a silver spoon in his smirking mouth, getting to just inhabit that body on day one. My phrasing is that sure is a transformer, but also we gotta not use that sure is a transformer in derogatory, because then, like, why are we here? That's my thinking. He's not, no, he's smirking like an anime. So it doesn't look like a smirk, but if you get the calipers out, he's about to drop a foo foo foo. No, I like this mode too. I mean, like, Sea Spray's, like, goal when he's the cute one, the cute version Sea Spray, is to turn into this funny looking thing. Um, and I appreciate that I had to, like, go out of my way to turn the head around so that it just looks kind of like some hunkage in the back of that funny looking thing. And he's got a thing here, so I can't do the joke and go like, whoa, look. They thought ahead. Also, flight stand hole. So you can have a flying hovercraft. Think about it. Think about the words. No, he's fine. I will say I actually like him more than Beachcomber, because, like, I kind of got this off of Ransack. I don't think Beachcomber's bad either. But when I messed with is it Ruckus, sorry, Ruckus. When I messed with Ruckus, I was like, this is fine. And having messed with Beachcomber, I'm like, yeah, this is fine. His identity is one that, like, does not beg for a tapestry of motion. And so value was I almost said imbibed. It wasn't. Imbibing's the wrong word. Value was injected in various places, 4 round ones specifically. Deluxe Insecticon mentioned. Why would I be mentioning them? How do you get this out? Ransack is not the worst one. He's the one I actually use in the TCG. I use my Ransack... No, never mind. No, that's Chop Shop. Well, in Wave 1, Ransack was a thing, because you put damage on him to make his attack go bigger. He kind of did sort of just disappear after that, but, maybe Ransack decided to disappear. It's not an indictment if like I thought I was about to step up for Ransack and it turned out I was talking about Chop Shop the entire time, is it? Like, don't tell Ransack I did that. Okay. Oh, you got to play the TCG for the first... Hell yeah. That's a fun game. They made a good game. Oops. C'est la vie. They made a good game. It happens. This is interesting. I'm just realizing this asymmetry here. Vangelus, have you messed around with the Ultraman TCG? In fact, I think it's okay that I say this. Last week, I got to meet with someone who has, like, 5 or 6 constructed Ultraman TCG decks fully blinged out. And I got to play the game, and I really like it. It is, and this is non-derogatory, Ultraman TCG is like the perfect second game. Not my words either, just I agree with them. It has like a runtime of like maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops. You can't lose or win until turn 3. And it still has some meaty decision space. And what I was most impressed by was it's an incredibly simple game as far as its, like, basic rules mechanics. And there are like 6 sets of it now, right? In that time, there are some extremely, I think, interesting developments as to how more game is, like, squeezed out of that fruit. So I quite liked Ultraman TCG. I'm going to the Canadian release event in Toronto that's happening on Friday at Banana Games. So if any of y'all are in Toronto, who knows, it could happen. Go there. It's like $15 and you get a starter deck, and there's going to be promos. And the person who is spearheading the game in Canada for its release really wants to make sure that promos are available to people who want to play the game. So I would say it's worth it. It's not a TCG if there ain't no... No, that's why it's a good TCG. There is no turn 1 OTK. Shots fired! Actually, hang on. Sea Spray I just found... Maybe this is... I don't think this is dangerous. Sea Spray can do this without me having to manipulate the shoulder in a funny way. So Sea Spray is naturally better at dabbing than the other mini-bot molds. Maybe this is the best mini-bot ever made? Is there a Zeton deck? Hang on. Hang on a sec. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hang on. Is there a Zeton deck? Is there a Zeton deck? Is there a Zeton? Oh. One of the key promos, and a promo that is being made as available as possible, is Zeton the Space Dinosaur. This card is a hard counter to any Ultra who becomes too powerful in the metagame. Because as you see, while there is only one character name among the Ultra heroes on your opponent's field, this character's BP becomes extra. So this guy's usually a 9,000, and then if you have this leveled up on top of another Zeton, or if you have, like, you know, a BP grade up effect, he goes from 9,000 to 14,000. If they're running like a very consistent, let's say, Ultraman Tiga deck, and like there's nothing but Tigas everywhere, then this guy balloons up to being a 20,000 BP. Just cuz. So the promo Zeton the Space Dinosaur, of which is not the only Zetons. There's soon, as far as I understand, enough Zetons, or will be hopefully enough Zetons to, like, you know, have Zeton be your whole thing. But there's room for Zeton. Kaiju in this game are their own, like, sub style of play. This is a wave 1 triple rare. It's very shiny. But yeah, Zeton, promo Zeton is very important, and very good. So yes, there are Zetons. The newest set actually adds Sevenger as a full-on archetype you can run alongside Zed, which makes me very happy. Also, the back of these Ultraman cards have a texture. Look at that, this is wild. Like, you're gonna sleeve them, so you're only ever gonna see this while you're opening them. By the way, some of the original artwork for this game in the English language release is done by fine folks such as Matt Frank and Tom Chu. So, shouts out. I also have, like, the demo deck. I haven't gotten to play the demo deck. The demo deck is simplified half decks, so I've already played, like, constructed 50 card with, like... Okay, not to, like, sidetrack. I got to play a Blue Rosso deck. And in this game, Blue Rosso is Spellslinger. Because they take... So there's two kinds of cards in this game. There are, like, literally only two kinds of cards. There's characters, and there are scenes. Right? So, Blue and Rosso have this whole thing where you build them up to eventually start hurling scenes as either attack buff bullets, or casting them as spells for their once per turn or enter effects or whatever. So, like, Rosso and Blue are a Spellslinger red-blue deck in a game that has two card types, where the whole game is battle of character versus character, and that's all you play, really, until you are winning 3 battles at the end of a turn. Are scene cards the only cards with just screen caps? The scene cards are screen caps. There are scene cards that are alt arts of heroines that are drawn art that was drawing supervised by the actor of the heroine, is my understanding. There are some screen caps, like, for the very basic, not screen caps, but, like, photographs for the super common cards. But a majority, like, here, this is an easy one, right? A majority of the, like, upper rarities are all original artwork. There was a, like, here's one. There was a Blue and Rosso that I had in the deck I was playing, which were, like, the shiny alt arts, where it's also a conjoined scene, where if you play them next to each other, they're like bumping fists. And it was kind of cool. But yeah, the demo deck is like Tiga 0 and Blazar 0. Look, the man who created Scarred. Apparently this is a very relevant scene card. But I'm going to be recording some stuff at the release event, so hopefully I'll have some VDO games reporting on Ultraman Card Games Canada release. If you're in America, this game's been out for a year. So, you know, if you just want cards, you can get them. My understanding is the game, as far as my Googling, right, trying to find gameplay videos, is that the game is around. It seems to be doing the best in Southeast Asia, it looks like. Hello, Rick Ray Robots, hello. I want to get names right. Oh, Ultraman Omega is one of the top meta decks because, you know, Omega is a newer show. So Omega has a lot of card support. But Omega is the exact kind of deck that Zeton counters to some degree because you're playing a bunch of Omega, if I understood correctly. Yes, Omega, get the meta. But yeah, I think Ultraman card game is very good. It's short, it's meaty, it's a perfect kind of game to, if you're into an already like very cerebral game, like, you know, Flesh and Blood or like Legacy Magic or like, you know, upper end Transformers TCG stuff where you're brain burning. Ultraman TCG is a great like second game to turn to as like a palate refresher, as like a little brain relaxation for a sec, because you don't have, like, you have a decision space but extremely simple mechanics, and the game finishes usually by turn 5 or 6, and it's shared. It's not turn 5, turn 5, turn 6, turn 6. Turns are shared, and there's just a player with priority who gets to do stuff first each phase. The person who holds priority is whoever won the most recent battle in the last turn. And you can unlose battles by upgrading characters on subsequent turns. That's how it has the whole tokusatsu feel of, like, Ultraman's getting beaten down, and then you form, change, level up to, usually just up to level 3 eventually, but they introduced level 4 in the expansions. I think there's, like, a single-digit number of Ultras who have a level 4 card. You can unlose in this game. Very few other games will let you do that. Well, it's pretty playing card art, but no, Ultraman card game is the kind of thing that if you are amidst tons of Magic players, you could probably, like, if you can scope out that any of them think Ultraman is neat, you can just catch them between, like, during sideboarding. Go like, hey, you've got 5-10 minutes, right? Let's slam out a game of Ultraman. How's OG Ultraman? I'm not sure. I know that the Showa Ultraman men show up as one of the 2 original starters that we're getting here in Canada, but I don't know what they do, because I kind of got pile-driven face first into, like, constructed new stuff. But yeah, I quite liked it. Also, no mana system, no resource system, no, it's not mana, but it basically is mana system. It's just 2 card types. You play one, you play another one. Ultra Heroes. Well, hey, listen. In my country, we have a secret third toy to open. Thematic! We Yu-Gi-Oh, baby. I don't know. They didn't coin the phrase Ultra Mana, and that's up to you, the player, to do. So yeah, we got a secret third other thing to take a look at. I'm using my magnetic powers to crush the packaging! Is allegedly the best one. Well, Sea Spray is also allegedly the best one. Correct. I am Magnet. I am the master of Magnet. Oh, I bumped the camera. Holy moly. My magnetic powers are so uncontrollable. What is this? What am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what that is. I'll deal with it later. Oh, yeah, it's very funny. They showed Windcharger's famous scene from the movie. Windcharger uses his magnetic powers to fight the Decepticons in this famous movie scene. Yeah, this thing is just sitting there. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. This is this does not seem to be like a, you know, safe biodegradable compound for me to retrieve my accessories from. So I'm confused. Like I don't even know how to interact with this item anymore. That's how you really know when I've been, like, you know, kidnapped, is when I start referring to toys as items. Just getting those plastic toenail clippings out of here. This, whatever the hell this thing is, out of here. Primal Season 3, available for viewing now. Whenever it airs in America. I don't know. Ugh. Hey, this thing's hard plastic. I thought it was going to be rubbery. Listen to that. Wait. Hang on a second. Hard plastic. Oh, those semitones. Oh, but I'm charged back up. Here we go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play with an action goddamn figure. How's the trill? Oh, it's... I can't even comment on it in the English language. It's so good. Whoop. Where's your knee? There's your knee. How does any of this actually, like, stick together? There's the famous shin ankle. Oh, I remember seeing this too. Yeah, here we go. There's the famous there's the famous head twiddler, face twiddler. Oh, there we go. That's so stupid. I love it. Huh? Look at that guy. He doesn't even have real ankles. Huh? That guy used his magnet powers. He could end the war right now. Huh? Woo! I wish my face moved up without my head. You know, you have to develop, you have to apply yourself. Most importantly, not only can he dab. Huh? Oh, what a weird thing to do. Him boot too big for he got dang feet. Nah, hey, listen. Sometimes you just gotta be a stomper, you know? Also, let's what do we do with this? What's the action feature? Just stick it in there? Yeah, okay. Magnet! Wait, here we go. Magnet! This thing, like, feels kind of nice, too. It's got a very soft, like, on both ends. A really soft, like, shallow, buttery speed bump. What a neat guy. Also, he has a gun. I don't know. This is the one where I actually do say, you know, like, what's he gonna do with this? Like, he has the power of magnetism. And he's like, also, just in case you're made entirely of plastic and meat or something, then I'll shoot you. Let's just get him back here with the guys. The guys back here. There you go. Size comparison time. Yeah, that's the whole thing long. It's like this dude, there's a storybook where this guy kills Starscream by hugging him with magnetism until he crumples. Yeah, what if magnets worked on human flesh? Oh! He's got the big ball socket dealy on his wrists. I wonder, can I... Yeah, you can actually, like, wrist joint this a little bit, but it's tricky. There's not much room in there. You almost have to, like, swing him down to do it, then swing him back up. Size comparison time is a Pixel Dan reference. Damn it. I thought we were true fans. It's Pixel Dan. What do we... Pixel Dan is the inventor of size comparison time. You have forgotten the elders. Is this like a who's the president in year 1985? Ronald Reagan? What, the actor moment, or what is going on here? Like it. They send me back in time. They're like, size comparison time? Oh, Pixel Dan. I'm like, no, actually, they don't know who that is anymore. Pixel Dan? The pro wrestler? I will get to Toy Heaven and Mike Mozart will chastise me. Damn right he will. Wait, was I supposed to make backwards the head? Is that an official step in this official transformation? I've decided it will be. Wait. That's not in the center of his head. That means that his head, like, moves up in the geometry. Now it can't close this. Never mind. You actually physically can't transform him if you do that with the head. Mike Mozart was the guy where every thumbnail was him, like, filling the camera frame, like... That's what I always remember. James Rolfe? The board game reviewer? Lest we forget bored James. Hello, Student Scissors. Welcome back. Make his face... Yeah, you're right. I don't need the Switch! Look at this! Look at this! The power of God and anime is in my hands. There you go. Now he's doing the cycle. If you went to 1995, told someone who the president was in 2025, they'd laugh you out of the room. Maybe so. Okay, so surely the gun has a funny place to go. There's a little hole here. There we go. No? Or a little peg. No, where's the little hole for the little peg? Surely. It looks like it's for this. Wait, so there's a little peg. There's a little peg. But I'm using a slot? Try finger, butthole. Beautiful chest. Keep going, skeleton. Between the thighs? No, there's a hole big enough for it between the thighs, but obviously it doesn't go there. You don't have the right, you don't have, oh, you don't have the right, you don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. No, this doesn't match that at all. It's too big for the hole. The peg is for bot mode storage. Okay, well, that makes sense. Listen, Finkenstein was the doctor, not the monster. Wait, no, okay. Oh. Oh, cursed geometry. That can't possibly be... Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's pointing forwards, it doesn't make any... I mean, it makes toy sense, I guess. This seems more like it. But I felt like there was something in the way when I was putting it in this way up. Yeah, it bumps it. That's why they say to have it pointing forward. Because this way, the funny little magazine thing sticking off the bottom clipazine is like bumping into some of this mush here. So it can't be facing backwards. Because if I put it in this way, then a whole bunch of it's like sticking below the wheel level. So like it has to be pointing forward. Which looks kind of funny. Hey, even this way, that's even better. It's specifically cut to accommodate the slope of the two sticky offy bits. Well, looks like that's a big fail. Well, I have his face looking up. His face can, look down. So it looks a little bit more like a forehead down there. Lazy, lazy. Now, this is fine, but lazy, lazy can't stick it backwards without little pegs and gubbins bumping into other pieces of red mass so I could pretend that it's an exhaust pipe. Lazy, lazy. Yeah, how else is he going to see where he's going? That's a cute little car. Feels nice in the hand. It's tossable. It's rollable. Can't wait to see intensely handsome tailgate done off of this. This is the way, right? Yeah. Magnet! Mr. Chris Internet, what are your thoughts on the Power of the Prime's Moon Racer mold? I don't hate it. I understand how it doesn't, jive for a lot of people, but like, I wanted to make the Orthia, and I actually kind of like the Orthia, as like strange and monstrous as she looks. So no, I don't hate the mold because at the end of the day, it's turning into a space stick car, and I like how it does it. I just think that, when people had like 3 of them with no discernible real, answer as to why, I could see how it kind of like bumps off of people, but I have 4 of them, because I have green light, because I'm rich, or at least I was, and then I bought green light, and now I'm not rich anymore, I'm poor. So, oh yeah, green light's the expensive one, last I checked. Maybe it changed. Like, I made a TCG deck called Greenlight is, like, however, whatever triple-digit amount she was on the aftermarket. That's correct, I am Chris, not Rich. I tried to be. And they were like, that's not your biblical name. $300-ish still. Okay, yeah. It was like $297 at one last time I looked, I think, but I just remember the number $297 because it was funny to say. Richard! Yeah, like, if one were to say, ask the question, hey, Mr. Transformers person who knows a lot about them because you buy lots of them, would you say that the Power of the Primes Deluxe is worth $300? And I'd be like, well, no, but, if it's the only way you can get that one, then I guess it's not really up to me. It's... She bloody gives you the green light to lose all your money. I like that one. I like that. I appreciate that one. Excuse me, you forgot the important Battlemaster known as Dazzle. Dazzle Strike is what made Greenlight triple digits, absolutely. We are forgetting you're not paying $300 for a Power of the Primes Deluxe. You're paying $300 for Power of the Primes Deluxe and a Battlemaster. Also, Dazzle Strike is a name that we should have gotten again by now. I don't like that name is trapped in this expensive obscurity. Hey, they didn't do this in the packaging. Check this out. Oh, yeah, I know. I said that too. Chris, would you recommend swapping Masterpiece Grimlock out for Studio Series 86 Grimlock? I mean, that's up to you. I don't really have a display. So I think your display needs to, how do you put this? The implementation of rules onto your display should be at your discretion alone. And even if you are making up rules for your display, if they are predicated upon the notion that like someone else wants it to be this way, then like, look them in the eye and go like, you're not we don't have collection cops. So I would say just like, put the one that you think is more interesting into its spot. Like if you have Masterpiece Grimlock and don't have Studio Series 86, then like, you're in a certain position. But if you have both, then try them both out. If you only have Studio Series 86 and don't have Masterpiece Grimlock, I don't know how expensive Masterpiece Grimlock is anymore. But a lot of Masterpiece Grimlock's value is based on having the apron and or the functioning tail waggle by spinning his head thing, because that's really funny. Because you can also spin his head by wagging his tail, which is even funnier. One thing I've been enjoying about the journaling YouTube genre is how many times people giving journaling advice repeat things that I believe about toy collecting, which is that you're doing it for yourself primarily. So, if you feel at a certain point like you're doing things to appease those around you, but you don't enjoy doing those things, then just don't do them, because those other people don't really matter in the context of your hobby that you're doing. Obviously, other people matter in the context of like, don't fart on the undeserving, and there are undeserving. That is objectively true. As much as you may not think that's the case, unfortunately, people have done the science, but those are different things. So I'm loving how stanced up Windcharger is. Like, just look at that friggin'. It's just forward. I guess I should do my alternate chat update. What the... Okay, hang on a second. I need to drag some things in here. It's time for the update! Where'd my chat window go? Here it is. Okay, so first we have, for those who didn't understand what I was talking about, they painted a Looney Tunes human eye onto the Paradise Parakeet. So it goes. And then there was just this sandwich. It's a pretty cool sandwich. Also, yeah, the Toy Hacks code for this month is, I was like, I'll use this one, then it was too complicated. So it's Cutie Vangelus if you want 15% off Toy Hacks stuff in the month of February 2026. The code is Cutie Vangelus. But yeah, where were we? There was a sandwich. I don't know what this was, but I agree with it. And then here we go. Yeah. I just dug mine out. Mine is still in. It was opened, but mine is still in the box. I never actually put the Cyclonus kit onto the Cyclonus because I never got a cheap other Cyclonus, and actually got around to doing that. I still would like to do that sometime. But here we are. Chris, you need money. You should just sell that. Well, sucks to suck. I guess I suck. A small price to pay for boy friends. No, I'm not rich because I don't want to sell mine because I like it. So I'm stuck. Is that RTS Cyclonus? Yeah, it's RTS Cyclonus. That kingdom did not exist when that set came out. That set came out when we had one Cyclonus toy and one Cyclonus toy only. Money hoarder. I can't help it. Maybe one day I'll join the billionaire class, and then I'll get to have my toilet made of solid gold bullion, and then I'll wonder what the pores did to make it keep mushing around and changing shape slightly when I sit on it too hard. Anyway, important action features. This. And that. Oh, he can see us. I'm going to leave him like that. I have a very floppy no accessory RTS Cyclonus. That kit now makes me wonder if it had that kit on it at one point. I'm not sure. There were also a non-zero number of stolen factory Cyclonusi all over the place for a good couple months. Hang on. There is robot storage for this gun, right? Where is that? Is that back here? Oh, it's for the butt. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Hang on, I want to make everyone nervous. He's not happy. I paid this robot to stare at you. The effect cannot go in his butt. His butt only has a circular hole, and the effect calls for a rectangular hole of 2 different sizes. So, it is a beach episode, and I know what you're all wondering. Where's the fan service? Where's the half-naked people? I got you covered, fam. I got us someone half-naked, alright? Don't worry. I gotta brag. So, I saw this at a toy show wherein I caught up on my small guy Street Fighters' for 30 Canadian apiece. Sagat and Blanco were there for like 50 or 60, and I was like, well, they're deluxe figures, so I don't want to pay extra. I'm sure I can get them for 40. Do you know how much this is at EB Games in Canada? The same price as the small ones. So, we're gonna crack in here. We're gonna crack in here. Get us a look at some of this merchandise. I have to film the backdrop he comes with, so I'm not gonna destroy the box because I have B-roll I still need to shoot that involves the box being in one piece. But yeah, the worst part is the pre-orders at EB Games are sold out, but they had pre-orders up for Balrog and E-Honda for 30 Canadian apiece, the old price. So, they also had Bubble Man for the price of the small Mega Men, so I think EB Games just messed up. This guy is supposed to be at least $40, like at least $5 more, because the deluxes are full of stuff. Number one, the box is an arcade machine, which is adorable. I'm not keeping them because I don't have room to keep boxes, but like I think that's really cute that it's an arcade machine. Also, yeah, they're almost done. Later this year, Zangief and T-Hawk come out, and then they're done with the cast of Ultra Super Street Fighter 2. Bean or beef burrito? Well, that toy guy, I think it really depends, right? Are you looking for flavor, or are you looking just for sustenance? Because if those are our only two choices, all due respect to the humble bean burrito, but that's kind of sustenance, right? We got to get a little bit of that umami flair from the beef if we're gonna have like a trip to Flavor Town. So the Jada line is only for Ultra Super Street Fighter 2 New Challenger Turbo or whatever specifically. That's all we know for now. I think the Scooby-Doo Wave 2 picture was on the Discord. It's got like Scooby and it was either Velma or Daphne, and then like I think Space Kook. No, he's got to be in view. You can move out of the way for a sec. There we go. All right, I gotta clip some of this. There's so much stuff. I love the Jada Street Fighter figures. I don't know if I've gone on about that recently enough for some people to be aware of that. That's cool. Yeah, the recent Street Fighter Alpha toys are Storm collectibles being forced to react to Jada toys, which I'm kind of enjoying. Like, Jada Toys quietly just making other companies change their output to some degree. I could be wrong, but boy howdy, it does feel like those Alpha, more affordable Alpha toys are perhaps reacting to a company who is redefining what 6-inch toys at the $35 Canadian dollar price point are. Oh, this is taped. This is taped. That's what's going on. Oh, there's so much in here. There we go. Release! Release! There we go. Yeah, the Mega Men are great as well. I've only messed with Jada Mega Men and Street Fighters, but, like, I haven't heard anything bad about the Cyberpunk stuff. I heard good stuff about the cereal mascots. Yeah, the Jada Toys M. Bison, that cape is, like, high-end Japanese 6-inch grade. Easily. I just heard a clank. Okay, no, they're just brittle. I thought these things were metal. Like, Dalsim has, like, metal chain on his neck? Anyway. Are these hinged? No. No, they're solid pieces. Okay. For a second, I was like, did they put hinges on the shackles just because they could? Oh, boy. You hear that? It's like a knuckle. Hang on. Listen to this. Yeah, the camera tech, it's just his nascent electricity. Okay, it doesn't have, like, detents in the shoulders like Bubble Man does and Woodman. Have all the Mega Man, like, has any Mega Man game's full roster ever existed in the same toy line at all? That's the thing that I'm already impressed by, is that, like, even if it's just, like, Mega Man 1, the fact that, like, a roster exists under the same toy line is blowing my mind. Also, this ball socket waist joint, look how deep that goes. As action figures, yeah, I'm like... that alone is already making me go like, huh? How are the hips feeling? Oh, interesting. I always forget that, like, they actually can do splits. Yeah, when someone pointed it out to me, I couldn't... Oh, sorry. Okay, number one. When someone pointed it out to me, I could not unsee that the Robot Master's alternate heads have different style eyes, so that they're doing, like, both versions. I don't really care, but I can see it now. So I see what people mean. The thigh swivel is under the shorts sculpt. I love that. I love that. Hey, Lucasfilm, complain about this. You can't. Ooh. Okay, there's detents in the knees. Yeah, like I can totally understand how the aesthetic like disparity could irritate somebody. But in a world where it's the first time someone's getting an entire cast out, I'm like, it's a price paid, I guess. Man. Okay, we got those in the ankles, too. Yeah, the deluxe Mega Men, I noticed that they were using way more, like, heavy detent stuff in the joints. Just, I'm assuming, to accommodate the extra girth on Bubble and Woodman. Also, the hair is in layers. Just noticing. Like, it's not all one piece. Damn, look at that. Because that's like the whole cut there for the neck joint. He farting! I'm assuming I just put these around him. It's like every time people try to pose Dragon Ball figures doing Saiyan stuff. Hang on a second. We're gonna swap heads. I love the head swaps on Jada Toys, by the way, because they just work. And then you put it here and... and it works. Like, I might just have bad luck with some other head swaps, but, like... I like that the Jada head swaps just work. I popped it out. Whoa! I'm electric. I dropped his electricity. Hang on a second, I'll be right back. Wish me luck, I'm gonna go retrieve some electricity. Oh my god. Oh, where did it go? It's down here somewhere, I can feel it. Oh, no, that's not it. Those are wires. That's real electricity. Oh, here it is. Ah! Alright, there we go. I did it. How are the hand swaps I saw? Let's find out. Oh, before I do... Oh, no, wait. I want to swap hands anyway before I do the ball. So, let's see. So, these are the ones that he ships with. So, they are going to be the easiest ones to pop in and out. Usually. That's fine. The tolerances on these things are usually just pretty dang good. It's like I don't know the story, right? But the tolerances on the joints in general on Jada's Street Fighter stuff feel like people who are, like, annoyed with the sometimes propensity of modern 6-inch stuff from big companies to, like, start to get kind of mushy or start to get, like, you know, some hands feel... This is the 4-inch stuff, too. Joy Toy, small wrist joints as a big example. Where, like, wrist swaps are terrifying. And, like, something about Jada's stuff, it's like someone else was annoyed, but in a position to do something about it. So I'm not expecting this guy can actually, like, curl into a perfect ball. That's exactly the story. I've watched every online appearance of the guy behind this line. Oh, okay. Someone is like, well, if it doesn't work, I'm tired of stuff not working. I'll do it myself. Wow, Jada, I have to spin him around by myself manually? Lazy, lazy, lazy. It's a deluxe figure, but I have to do this with my hands? Where's my deluxe spinning stand that'll spin him for me? Lazy, lazy, lazy. If there's one thing that is annoying about Blanca, it's that they accurately have his shackles in a way where they're kind of jingling, but it means that sometimes they spin inwards, and I don't know why that annoys me so much, but when they're both inwards like that, I'm kind of like, damn it, and I'm like, I want to turn them outwards, because it's more dynamic. Like, all things considered, and I'm trying not to, like, super glaze the whole thing, but, like, I think it's kind of impressive that a large toy of Blanca from Street Fighter can remotely curl into a ball like this without feeling like I'm breaking something. They would be logically facing it, but it's more dynamic if they're facing outwards. Oh wait, actually the hinge would be on maybe on the back. I don't want the... I mean, yeah, the chain would be connected inward, but it's all cluttered and it's all touching. All the parts are touching. I don't want all the different parts touching. But yeah, I'm also I usually wouldn't be like this gung-ho on like Street Fighter toys, but A, they feel really good, and B, I have like leftover childhood baggage of once upon a time when I was a little kid and I hung out at fencing practices, there was not another little kid, but there was a teenager. He was like another at the time kid, but it was a teenager when I was, a child. And so we, this is a nice enough guy, and we hang out during fencing practices, hang out as best as a child can, right? Talking to an older kid. But one time he just told a fib to me, about how like, oh no, they're making a Street Fighter toy line. It's so amazing. And there's going to be like, when they're on fire, it's a whole piece you just clasp around the figure, and Blanca is gonna have like a whole ball you put him in to make him do the electric ball. And he was lying the whole time, and then afterwards he was like, no, I tricked you, ha ha ha. And I was, for like 2 whole days, I was like, why wouldn't they make Street Fighter toys? And then they did the G.I. Joe ones, which were fine, but they weren't right. And anyway, it's all culminated in like a good, affordable, domestically available Street Fighter toy line is out, and it's like comprehensive, from the era when child me was deceived. So I'm like, no, actually, I love this. I want to collect this. So that's some of my story. Do you have the full roster or just the Or just the 4 or 5. Well, I would only have the 4. This is petty. I was about to say, well, if they're the 4 or 5 I have, they'd only be the 4 or 5. And then the ceiling caved in on me. No, as of the toy show, I suddenly have more. Because I got a really good deal on, it was DJ, Cammy, Guile, and Vega for 30 Canadian apiece, flat, no tax, at the toy show. That's a good deal. So now, the only ones I'm missing, aside from, obviously, deluxe versions from conventions, right? Of the retail ones, just sticking to P1 colors. Of the ones that are out, I'm only missing Ryu, because I've never seen one. And I don't have anything from Wave 5. It looks, I don't know if Wave 5 is out, but Akuma, E-Honda, and Balrog I do not have either. But I don't think they're out in Canada at all. I gotta do some like suave Blanca poses now, because like how often do you get to see that? Akuma just came out apparently. Okay, because Akuma's the little guy in that wave with 2 big guys, so I'm assuming to some degree he could just be found on his own. Hang on, we can do this. We can do this. There you go. But yeah, as of finding this very now, like I guess I just lucked out being in Canada. These mispriced deluxe size ones. Ryu is the only one I'm currently missing that I'm aware of. I guess Akuma now as well. If you really want to get into baiting people to start complaining, I'm using the Western name Akuma, but I'm pronouncing it the Japanese way, even though in Japan he's called Goki. But I'm calling him Akuma because it's more fun to say. I shall sup of the delicious melon. Oh. Well, these hands, I don't know if you noticed. Hang on. We got this. That is Ojo. That is Ojo hands. But yeah, the dates on ebgames.ca for Edmund Honda and Michael Balrog Bison are the end of June, I believe. I don't know what the PvP... I don't watch PvP. I only watch the 2 clips of PvP. And I don't know how to put this, but they are there. But Blanca's nipples are very implied on this sculpt. And he's not wearing shoes, so I can't do either of the PvP things. Oh, I already did it. Okay. Hi, I'm Blanca. In my opinion, an Ojo can have some finger curl, because that's a truly relaxed Ojo. Very much like, you know, that kind of thing. It gets across the lackadaisicalness of the upper crust, the upper class. What PvP thing involves it? Well, in the only 2 clips of Prime vs. Prime that I have ever watched, and I've decided that is enough to know what the whole channel's about and I'm into it, there is one clip where he's twiddling Studio Series 86 Rekgar's cannons and talking about lactation. And then there's another clip with Solus Prime's feet where he's like, I sure would love to get stomped in or kicked in something. Someone would get kicked in the knackers with these bad... No, what's the line? Imagine getting kicked in the knackers by these bad boys. Bad boys. Yeah, boys. Imagine getting kicked in the knackers by these bad boys. And so that, and so I know Prime versus Prime as the Lactation Ball Stomp channel. And so it is my hope that if Prime versus Prime ever attends a TFCon Toronto, that we might connect as people. If I introduce myself to him by saying, "Oh, you're Prime versus Prime. I love your Ball Stomp lactation content." And so if he rolls with it, right, then it turns out he's cool. And if he doesn't, then it turns out he's maybe a little bit square. But no one knows because nobody's ever talked to Prime versus Prime, so nobody knows. That's the enigma that I'm going to unravel, is whether or not Prime versus Prime is able to lean into and enjoy the ball stomp lactation bit. It's quite normal. I mean, people asked. The pen test isn't his. That's someone else's. Prime versus we got to be focused. All right. I don't mean to like, because I want us to dream big, right? I want people to dream big. But as far as like pragmatism, speaking as a project manager type, the pragmatic approach is we stay focused. If we are talking to Prime versus Prime, we focus on ball stomp lactation. We can't start getting into pen, because what if Prime versus Prime has no idea what that is, right? Then we're going to be stuck there sounding weird and kind of freaky talking about why I'm banging a pen on a toy. Whereas if we keep it perfectly normal, and as normal people talk in the real world and say, hey, I love your ball stomp lactation content, then like we might establish a human connection. Compartmentalization, yeah, it's not even that. It's just siloing our efforts for the sake of the most efficient, pragmatic delivery of energies. Oh, thank you, Long was here. I forgot about that. I was talking about ball stomp lactation time. That is always a little bit, distracting. Adam Rockmore, ball stomp lactation has the same cadence as Quattro Bagina. Well, I assume ball stomp lactation is a Gundam character, because I did just pull a Gundam card at a release event of some guy called Paptimus Sirocco, which isn't a real name. So, I know that, Tomino redefined what naming conventions are in the Gundam faith. So I just assume that there has to be someone called Ball Stomp Lactation. The man from Jupiter. Are you getting Gen-style Optimus? Currently, no, I can't afford it. Too many hobbies at the same time, and not enough income. But I would like to pick one up sometime if if there isn't like some kind of horrific reports about the in-hand quality. He sounds like he's turned out fine so far. Can he Ojo laugh and dab at the same time? No, you need to have a figure of Goro from Mortal Kombat to do that. And I don't have the Storm Collectibles one. I saw that Paptimus's mobile suit is called the O. Because apparently that's like one of the decks people are trying to build. And then I was shown the LR of the O, and it said, Link Pilot Paptimus Sirocco. And I'm like, well. The thing about Paptimus Sirocco to me is it's that it's the two names. It's like two entire meals of name. And it not even two matching meals either. And they're just like smacked together. It's like a marshmallow and steak milkshake. Just went to PvP's Twitter page in hopes of humanizing the legend. It's just him reposting people linking his videos. I know, he's a mystery! He's an enigma! Paptimus is also like the worst guy too. I mean, I don't want to be judgmental. But between his card art and him driving a thing called the O, and then his name, I kind of prejudged the character and motivations of Paptimus Sirocco a little bit, and that's egg on my face, but like I couldn't help it. I was like, the dude's name is Paptimus. Someone had a kid. And it went like, my child should be named Paptimus. And then I assume immediately died or something. The O has crotch-mounted beam saber arms. Well, good. I don't understand what else Paptimus Sirocco would use to do battle. Is okay. So Sport Pepper says Paptimus's boss is Hamitov Hyman, for the record. Are you making that up? Also, I'm assuming it's pronounced Hamitov? It's either Hamitov, Yamatov, or Jamatov. Which, admittedly, probably doesn't affect the part where the character's surname is Hyman. But it bothers me if I don't get it right. No, okay, this always happens with the Gundam people, too, is they'll be like, oh yeah, this guy's name is, Vagina Sports Car, and it's like, and then like 15 people are like, no, you see, in the War in Pocket, it's actually a very famous scene, Jamitov, okay, Jamitov, alright, so it's Jamitov with soft J. Ja like jam. Okay. Yeah, that's the katakana helps. With a lot of Gundam names, actually, the katakana helps. Hi men. Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah, that is his surname. Oh no, that is Man. Hi Man. Hi Man. Okay. So it's not Hyman, it's Hyman. That's important, because we were writing Hyman, and it's Hyman. It's very different. The Gundam Wiki romanizes it as Hymum. Mum? No, you can't. It ends with an N. That's an N. Hyman is the spelling. Oh, okay. I guess that's okay. It's not utterly wrong, like saying that it's blood stalk, because that's completely wrong. But this I can abide. Why would the Gundam Wiki romanize it as Haimum? That's wrong. That's actually, so that's blood stalk wrong, because that is an N on the end of that name. That is not a mu, which it would be if it was Haimum. It would be Haimamu, not Haiman. It's an N right there. This is important. If you care about the sanctity of anime in the West, you have to get this right. Official Gundam website spells it Hymen. Okay, then it's Hyman. Men. Hyman. I mean, I guess I'm the one who's also minning it a bit more because I think it's funny. I like to say Gutsman, Megaman, etc. He-Man. Y'all see the trailer for the new He-Man movie? Linguistics! Yeah, it's important! You have to do it for the sake of Vagina Sports Car! Actually, that's spelled Bajina Supports Kuruma in a very strange move. His dub name is Dirk Maidenhead. Okay. I once again have to ask. Chris Muse, did you make that up, or is that real? And who's Dirk? Is Jamatov Hyman Dirk Maidenhead? Or is... Okay, you made that up. Alright. This is Tomino... I mean, this is as Tomino wanted, so really nothing's wrong. Nothing wrong is happening here. This is what Tomino wanted. It's as Sensei wished for it to be. I love how even I don't even look at these auto captions when I start talking about Gundam. I leave that as a special thing just for you, the viewer. The Ocean Dub calls him Douche Turwitch. I don't believe you now. Now that Chris Muse tried to trick me, I need that second opinion on that one. No, I need 4 opinions. No, if I say how many opinions I need, you're just gonna keep saying it until someone says, like, they're making it up. That's... Is Full Frontal a card? Yeah, Full Frontal was there in the initial starter decks, I believe. Or at least Wave 1, because Unicorn was in the... I don't remember if Full Frontal was in ST03 or if he was just in GD01, but Full Frontal's in there. So is Banana. McLaughlin, or whatever his name is. Don't even get me started on Revibe. That you can't. Okay, yeah, I see. Why would you do both? Why would you do both? Okay. Like it's revival, but because I guess doing Ribaibaru also makes it sound like Raibaru, so it's like also rival, I guess. But it's Rivaibu Ribaibaru. Why isn't it Ribaibu Ribaibaru? Oh, I guess I answered my own question, sort of. But it should just be either Ribaibu Ribaibaru or Rivaibu Rivaibaru. It should. I mean, you should pick one. Make it symmetrical. Also, do your katakana drills. You all should know this stuff. I don't want to say it 5 times fast. Sulu's. You can't. No. The Buff Clan names in Ideon also do this with the kana a little bit. I love Karara and Haruru. Bring stability. You were the chosen one! I'm seeing if I can make him cross his arms. It is stability. Suteburu Sutabuririti. Not changed subject. Kamen Rider Ainz is with Girls Remix is fan subbed. Oh hell yeah! I got the Raw, but I hadn't watched it yet, so I'll go on. I will ethically go to Cat's site and look for that so I can watch it when I visit Japan the day I watch it. I was talking to someone about Team Rider USA the other day. I know. But like it was nice to talk to someone about it, mostly around the way that Team Rider USA was like just they didn't even try to kayfabe it. And that was something that they did that always bugged me, was they would have these lengthy talks about how much they all love Gaim, and they just wouldn't... You could have fun kayfabing how you know what Gaim is as Team Rider USA, right? Like, you could be like, oh yeah, when I was on my internship... I happen to just fly into Japan every Friday night, so come Sunday morning when I watched it, and like, you know, it's just make something up. You don't have to, like, this was my point, it's where the word kayfabe came in, right? Is like, I think in that case, no one would mind if you lied, because we all know how you saw it, so make something up. Fun, you know? Or don't talk about Gaim during the Team Rider streams. Kind of one or the other, right? Like, have fun with the kayfabe, or like, don't make stuff confusing. But anyway, yeah, kayfabe in our legality. I think that's why I always liked the producer Shirakura Twitter era on the better end, is when producer Shirakura was all like, I'm so glad there's so many fans of this show somehow. Or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing off memory, but it was, there was like this sort of, there was a big this, right? Of like, yeah, I'm so glad so many of you somehow love this show. I guess you saw it when you visited Japan. To which the domestic community could then have a whole lot of fun. Going like, yeah, ooh, just got back from my flight too. My arms are tired. Was Team Rider USA an official? Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was. Hang on. Kind of at the turn of the decade, in the heart of lockdown, Kamen Rider was getting deployed to Western audiences. Was it Heart of? I thought it was Heart of Lockdown. Maybe I might be wrong. No, I think it was in 2020, right? Anyway, this is a huge moment where they were going to show a Kamen Rider movie on Tokusatsu, and it was the Zio, meta movie, and everyone joined the stream. We were all like, "Damn, this is amazing! The potential for this is limitless. What's gonna happen?" No, the first stream thing was a movie, I thought, because then it went into our available simulcastable series, because it was the movie, and it was Kuga and 71 Kamen Rider, but it led with Team Rider USA, who were this domestically located, in America only, group of people who were going to be kind of like the stewards for bringing Kamen Rider to the West. And then like there was this rapid devolution of like their main messaging as far as what you could do was buy our t-shirts. And then people like me would say like things like, your t-shirts are not available to be shipped to my country. And they'd be like, well, just ship them to a friend in the States that you're going to see sometime soon. And it would be like, all right, what else can I do? And then there was briefly a push to have these talkie streams, which were like fine, but it just felt like I was listening to someone's Skype call, except they couldn't say they pirated the shows they were watching, so they just didn't say anything about where the shows they were watching came from. And there was, briefly a push to have a sort of like discussionary show about tokusatsu, but it kind of came off weak. And the projected media literacy felt like a forgettable era of Ranger Board manifested as a media project, and then it kind of just very slowly crumpled away into nothing. And there is no Team Rider USA anymore. Now we just, we get things simulcasted, and that's that. Unless I'm missing something and there is still like a person called Team Rider USA. I'm not really sure, because they were Team Rider USA, which means that I eventually came to the conclusion that they have nothing to offer to me in Canada, as far as anything other than streaming things that they're putting up, which I already could do, just slightly less legally. So when Team Rider USA was active, one of the things that I tried to do as a fun bit, in the hopes of sparking any kind of interaction, was referring to myself once or twice as Team Shocker Canada. And nothing happened. Yeah, that was about the one, like, selfishly, the one really cool thing to come of Team Rider USA was in the early era when a whole bunch of us were, hanging out in the chat for the stream of these movies. I kind of found out that a lot of people actually did get into Kamen, like, not everyone, but a sort of like big fistful of people got into Kamen Rider because of me. And I was like, that feels really cool, because it felt like it's like one of the many bricks in an ocean of bricks and mortar that built to this moment that we are now seeing a Kamen Rider movie streamed for all of us here in this it was such a moment, and it was a really inspiring moment across the board that was then not used again ever. But yeah, that is the story of Team Rider USA. Is they were fine. They were trying their best. The scuttlebutt has always been that somebody at Toei and somebody at Toei, somebody at the domestic side, and then somewhere in between, two people had some kind of massive interpersonal spat that like manifested spiraling out as the general inefficacy of whatever Team Rider USA was able to do. Is the scuttlebutt that I always saw on old Twitter. That's all but that's about it. So that's the story of Team Rider USA. It's not actually all that exciting. But I did say but. I've said but before. I only used one T, so you found me out that I used two T's when I said scuttlebutt. When I say scuttlebutt, right, it's because there are like a non-zero number of people in the tokusatsu fandom who know things and like constantly very loudly talk about them on Twitter. Or at least did, I assume. I don't know who all is still there, but... Oh yeah, we had a 0-1 comic, and that finished too, right? Like, I don't actually know what happens in it. There's a common rider with a cape, and then the author got like really weirdly combative with people on Twitter, I think, or something. I remember the author got into like online fights or something, and then it was weird. He did. Yeah, I don't know. We got out of that. We've got simulcast Common Rider happening now. We've got several simulcasted and very nicely English dubbed as an option Ultraman series. If all that stuff ends like tomorrow, as long as the YouTube videos were backed up by somebody, we have like more to work with than we would have had trying to fan sub all of it, and so I think it's a net gain for everybody. Yeah, the 0-1 comic was by a guy who wrote a Transformers story as well, and it was like the whole thing. The Kuga manga, apparently the Kuga manga just, they fixed it apparently, but never talked about it again and just kept putting it out, was my understanding. I could never find it after a certain point. Yeah, there's the anime about the guy who wants to be a Kamen Rider. I heard it's fun. I've seen a clip or two. I haven't sat down to watch any of it yet, but I think the Kuga manga kept coming out because I at a certain point I remember it's like it's been like 2 months. Did they just can it and then like I'd swear that it still was coming out? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it got bad again. And not the manga getting bad, but like it when it had its domestic release, it very sharply turned into this like absolute gibberish machine translation at a certain point. Mars Girl was one of the ones who like was, and I was joining in quite heartily. In one of like the final eras of Twitter where we were just like showing full pages of nonsense, and then like I think I recorded some dubs on my phone. It's up to volume 12 on Amazon. Okay, yeah. What's the waterlogged Kamen Rider I keep seeing? Oh, that's an Agito 25 years later film. But also the Kamen Rider Gills suit, one of the secondary characters in Kamen Rider Agito, that suit suffered catastrophic water damage a long time ago. And so it's kind of funny that like, you know, the big poster imagery for the Agito sequel movie is a severely damaged Gills suit floating in water. Yeah, PT, that's the thing, is I think people just bailed, but I could swear I heard from someone who said they found later volumes and like the translation got better again. But like I have stated the extent of my knowledge. I lost track of it. Yeah, there's some shots of the suit where it's just, it got soaked in water, and if you soak something in water that's not supposed to be, it'll get messed up. And then the actor who played Gills has like this sort of sordid record, or sordid public record. And it's sort of noticeable that is one of the few actors who is not in the returning cast. So, but the nature of Gills as a character is that he's sort of an infinite regenerator. So I've made the case in several places that a 25 years later film where the front-facing imagery is what looks to be a desiccated remains of Gills is what a perfect time to recast the character by just having him regenerate into a younger actor with the same hairstyle and say, oh, damn, I regenerated backwards. And then, you're good to go. In a lot of cases, suits aren't really like, especially in like 2001, right? Like there was no idea when they, made and shot stuff for Agito, like, we got to save these suits for years later. Because and Gills also, funnily enough, like, falls in water a lot. So it's sort of a cosmic joke. Like, it seems like, Occam's razor says, and I'm speculating, so I don't know anything. So, don't turn it into something to hinge your hopes and dreams on this thing about. But, like, the simplest idea is that Gills is dead, because that's the poster picture. So it's, probably most likely that, like, they're not going to do any of this stuff where I'm, like, in their position, I'd be like, no, let's backwards regenerate Gills, because it'd be cool, and then also we'd have a new actor who doesn't have a public record. It's probably more likely that Gills is just, dead. But... will you bring back the Agito GIF for the Agito GIF? It's an emoji actually it's an emoji here. Here, let me paste a few of them. There you go. There you go. It lives on right here, before our very eyes. Now, granted, you have to, like, really squint at it until your eyes hurt to start to see it move. I missed something earlier. What's your favorite Kamen Rider show? Like, off the top of my head, it's, like, changes constantly. My easy answer is Zedo, because it's the first one I saw, and I still think it's very good. But, I like Black Sun quite a bit. I like basically every Kamen Rider show I've watched. I like for some reason or another. I'm very Ega Devil about it. Me and Ega Devil, classically at least, when we were both on the same podcast, it took a lot for either of us to not like a Kamen Rider thing in some way. And to this day, I still generally just enjoy Kamen Rider. There's some of them I like less, and some of them I like more. And still, the only one that I just don't like is The Next, because I saw it in theaters in Japan and didn't like it then, and I watched it several times since. And funnily enough, that was the episode of Henshin Justice Radio where both me and Ega Devil thought maybe we're gonna have an argument for once, and it turned out we both didn't like The Next, and it was like, hey, nothing to worry about. But no, I even like, and I don't want to get into like spoiler details because it's just in case, right? Like, so no need to get into it. But like, I even like O's 10th. Like, I know a lot of people really don't like it. I'm not gonna like, I don't like it enough to want to like go to bat for it. But like, I came away from it actually kind of liking it. Certainly, I'd like them to do something else if possible, but I actually didn't mind O's 10th. I think O's 10th is like, it's becoming the next Everyone Hates Ghost sort of like fandom punchline people learn when they come in and start repeating, if that makes sense, which is not to target anyone actually watching. It's just, this is a broad strokes thing. Even Paradise Regained, actually, I really like I really like the joke part of Paradise Regained. I really like our new Kaizo Ningen. Uh, I really like our new president. I, I thought that was really funny. No, yeah, in the 2010s, there was, because people did it with Saber, two people did it with Wizard. People always find a Kamen Rider show for a couple of years to be, this is the really bad one. Oh, what were they thinking? And for a while it was Ghost. Um, like there was this whole thing where like the easy punchline, the way to fit in with the rest of your kin in your new hobby family is to walk in and go like, well, at least it's not Kamen Rider Ghost. And then a whole bunch of people would pat you on the back because you understand, because you're in now, you know. And there's always one of those with Tokusatsu, because it's still, even though it is now simulcast and it's a whole lot less stigmatized, there's an inherent defensiveness that comes with being a Tokusatsu fan in the West still, in my experience. And that's, again, not targeting any one person. It's just more of like an overall flavor of the atmosphere, right? And thus, I think it is very easy for a community body, and not the whole one, but one of the bodies that make up a community, right? One of the major cell clusters, to want to create their in-jokes and their, you know, their guffaw, slap on the backs. And it is human nature to build those around how much you don't like something, which I think is something that is still a big problem with human nature. Tada no ningen no nature. We eating boxes today. Yeah, that's why there's no, T-Fan, there's no boxes pictured. I had my meal. But yeah, because number one, I think it's, you know, it's fine to have your in-jokes. It's just like, I dare say it's kind of hard to argue against the idea that it's very easy for, you know, fandom in-jokes, hobby collectives in-jokes to kind of be built around, well, what sucks? And I maintain my belief that building the majority of your time around what sucks, quote unquote, poisons your mind to a certain degree. It leaves toxic waste behind that in the long term, I think makes it genuinely difficult to enjoy things, because you start to associate "damn this sucks" with your leisure time, and to me that is an ill-fated equation. And you know, there's a certain like limit to my soapbox, because like I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. It's just, this is what I observe, and that personally I get affected by it after a while, because like I've talked about this before, like when I'm like mad, right, I find it leaves venom behind in my brain that makes it hard for me to then be happy again immediately. And I was very default to the what sucks or who sucks as like the icebreaker topic, and it is a very common thing in hobby spaces, online spaces, etc. Because I think it is kind of just a cultural nature that we have now. And personally, I think that it does do damage to the psyche. I'm no psychiatrist, so you know, whatever. But I'm just like, I'm speaking from observed and lived experience. And you know, it's very easy to take what I'm saying as like, so you're saying we should do toxic positivity, and I always feel like, well, no, I don't think so, and nor do I think a hug box situation is inherently toxic positivity, because I'm not talking about turning your entire world into a hug box situation. I'm talking about taking your leisure space and leaning it towards Hugbox because it's supposed to be your leisure space. This is sort of like the stuff that I touch on when I talk about, you know, the purpose of hobbies, right? Is I feel like the point of a lot of these spaces is supposed to primarily bring you joy. And that is, you know, easily misconstrued into, you know, trying to prevent critical assessment, or, you know, that, or negating the idea that critical assessment is how some people do have fun with things, or how snarking on something is how people have fun with things. I'm just saying that when the overall habit trends towards this sucks, the stuff I hate, the people who suck, etc., I think that leaves lingering damage behind that can go unnoticed because it is the cultural norm. That is now one of my soapboxes, but um, and like, I don't even like, I don't want to, because it's a habit of mine because I have fun doing it, right? But I don't want to like anthropomorphize objects or medias into things whose feelings we must protect necessarily. Obviously, there is a bit of crisscross there when people, for example, super don't like a Nexus Prime and then start like screaming at a designer on Instagram about how this is actually a personal problem now. Because then it's like, you know, if you are able to, please go outside, that kind of thing, right? Um, but yeah, it's like even critical assessment to like when I pick apart something and I try to display this as much as I can. When I get really like into picking something apart, I try to have some fun with it. Or like if I don't really like a figure, eventually I just sort of lean into like, well, what kind of fun can I have with it anyway, right? Like with Nexus Prime, for instance, because I didn't really talk about my own opinion on it that much anywhere. Like, I think he looks just kind of like fine. He's sort of middling. I think the alt mode is, it's obviously very funny looking. I don't really mind it that much because to me, the alt mode, right, is amidst a sea of alt modes that silhouette wise amount to taking a guy like this and having him form into a stick, right? So in the case of Nexus Prime, and if you look at where his arms and legs end up, it's kind of interesting. But he ends up turning into a guy who looks like this. And, in a sea of people who are doing the E-Honda head torpedo, we have a guy who's just flying gusset first, right? Or I guess gusset behind. But he's using his gusset and featuring it. And, like, that makes it kind of interesting to me. It's not to the point where I then started telling people who don't like how it looks like, well, you see, you're wrong. And you have no taste because blah, 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 blah. But, like, the way that I parse it out is I'm just like, I'm going to lean into the part where before we knew what he did, I did notice, I'm like, that looks a lot like a torso. That looks a lot like, or like a chest specifically. So I did my thing where I flipped him upside down in Krita and I, drew a stick figure body around him and I signed it G2 Pat Lee. And I was like, hey, I'm having fun. And granted, I don't read Transformers Twitter, so I only kind of got a hint of how heated things were getting for a wider community tone, and I saw some YouTube thumbnails, and I saw, like, even on Blue Sky, some of it, so I was like, okay, I guess it seems like people are actually not having fun, so I guess my experiment didn't spread. You see with Rung, he gives enemas, and he has to be shaped like a stick in order to... You can't give... Well, you can if you try hard enough, but you can't give someone an enema with something shaped like this unless the goal is slightly different from the medical benefits of the enema. At least speaking as an amateur, I'm a hobbyist enema giver. I don't really, I don't know the science of it. I just think with my heart, not with my funny looking thing up here. On the topic of enemas specifically. Well, the thing is, when people are repeatedly disappointed, then my question is, did you enjoy anything from the last 12 months of the hobby? And then if the answer is no, then it's like, then you should get another hobby. And that's not meant to be leave. That is meant to be have more than one hobby, which is, again, in my opinion, incredibly important to have multiple hobbies. I don't think humans can be happy living one hobby, because if you live one hobby... Sorry, enemas don't go in your heart, they go in your butt. Well, listen, I'm an artist. All right, anyway, this isn't always the case, but I feel if your entire self, your leisure time is one hobby, then you fall into the danger zone of you becoming part of that hobby when that hobby is supposed to be a part of you. So with Transformers, when people are endlessly disappointed, it's like, then you should probably like, step away and do another hobby for a bit. And that doesn't mean leave the community. That doesn't even mean like leave Transformers. It's just like, if you don't like anything that's coming out that's new, why spend most of your time thinking about how much you don't like it? That is almost a mathematic example of what I was talking about earlier, where you're spending your leisure time focusing on how much you don't like something, then that's no longer leisure time. And that leisure time, in my opinion, needs to change. And you have no control over Transformers the brand as a customer of it. So you should probably just, like, you know, now you've got the freedom to look around, look elsewhere. Look at GoBots. They're very good toys. Or go into the past of Transformers, bits that you might have missed, stuff that you might have just not had time to fit into your schedule because you were at one point maybe keeping up with everything. Like, there's healthier there's healthier paths to proceed than my hobby identity is how much I don't like this thing that I was into. It actually is almost literally vote with your wallet, because also it's like, if you don't like how anything looks, then, like, don't buy it. There are no hobby cops. There are no rules to being part of a hobby. And anyone who purports that there is a way to, like, critique how someone is a part of a hobby, outside of maybe what I'm doing, where it's mostly focused on, like, I would like people to be happier. But, like, if someone's gonna be like, I'm gonna review you as a member of the fandom, it's kind of like, okay, like, maybe you actually should go outside for a very long time. So the definite solution would be to be in control of Hasbro. So if you have a way to do that, like, if you are able to buy out the board of directors, then, like, why haven't you done it yet? Are you a coward? Yeah, time to. I think I would define I'm going to pour my life savings into attempting to buy out Hasbro stock to run the board of directors as perhaps also an unhealthy garnish for the psyche. But also, I don't know if anyone's tried to do it yet, so hey, you want to be the first, just then, like, you know, go for it. We need to influence Doug Bowser. Yeah, well, number one, nobody's convinced him to rename himself Doug Megatron. I'm sorry if it's a rote joke, but it's funny. But if we can't even do that, then, like, what are we gonna do, right? Because, yeah, I know, like, Griff, you were saying, like, you know, I got too many hobbies, and it's like, yeah, you can overload on hobbies a bit, but, like, I think it's a better problem to have a large number of things you can turn to feel a little bit better, than to stay limited to a number of things where perhaps a great number of those things are currently not making you happy. Let's start a GoFundMe. Yeah, that's a good petition. Give me enough money to buy out Hasbro's board of directors. Me personally. And then it turns out, who's running this GoFundMe? Chris Cox? And then Chris Cox is like, I have great news for this investor call. I came up with a new way to get us in the black. Yeah, Doug Unicron. Yeah. I'm here to eat them. Because, yeah, I hopefully this is already clear, but, you know, I would like to say, you know, very clearly, if someone's, like, stewing on what I've been talking about, I'm not saying don't complain. It's just, like, complain and move on is kind of the catchphrase, I guess. Like, say your piece and then do something fun, you know? And if you have nothing fun to do, then, like, I'm not the one who can solve that for you, but I would say then the priority is figure out something fun to do, because that's more important than staying waist deep in something that, like, burns your skin the entire time. Yeah, like, experience whimsy would be also great if they canned the stuff. I asked them to. Yeah, like, if your complaint is the the inherent capitalist nature of the corporation that owns the brand of the Transformers, then, like, it's a valid complaint. I have that complaint, but, like, what can we do about it? Nothing, other than not buying things. And then it's like, all right, and then move on. Like, it's just, you know, it's easy to I tunnel. Like, guess what? They have a word for it: doom scrolling, right? And, like, that'll happen to me sometimes. But, like, the important thing is to at least, like, want to move on, even if you get stuck in it now and then. Like, you know, you'll get mired into a puddle or a, you know, a little muck of quicksand for a bit, but like the intent to get out of it is still as important, if not more important, right? Than like whether you do get out of it. And then the other important thing, this is the one that this is one of my personal beliefs, but also part of moving on. Don't spend an inordinate amount of time shaking people by the shoulder to make sure that you're telling them you're not having fun, because eventually it's like, what's the purpose of that activity, right? Sorry I missed it. I was booking my room for TFCon Toronto. Hey! Like, I don't like anything that Tom Cruise is in, and I don't particularly want to watch anything that Tom Cruise is in. And a part of that activity that I follow is I also leave people alone when they're talking about Mission Impossible movies. Unless they walk up to me and look me in the eye and @tag me and say, what's your thought on Mission Impossible movies? And then I'll tell them very quickly, I don't watch them because I don't like Tom Cruise. And then if they want to keep asking about that, then that's a conversation we can have. But I just leave people to do whatever they want to do about Mission Impossible. And then if, say, Mission Impossible, the franchise, was single-handedly funding a maniacal United Kingdom transphobe who huffs mold fumes in her mansion estate, I think it's a better use of energy to just, like, signal boost people who are talking about that stuff in a very educated and detailed manner. And eventually, if someone really is, their whole identity is how much they love the Mold Queen's great works, then I just kind of put a distance between myself and that person. Sorry, and her super yacht. The Samsara. Yeah, Mistake Boy. Sorry, I love Tom Cruise, but I hate watching movies. Why did he not get a career in television? That fool. I can't... Was it legit no down payment? No. Hotels, as far as my experience has been, hotels don't take a payment up front for reservations. They just also get real grumpy if you cancel less than like 48 hours or 24 hours, whatever they say, like before the actual check-in date. Is that what it's actually yes. It is the Samsara. Did you hear I mean, that's why she's on my mind. I usually don't think about her that much. So recently, yes, she popped back into my field of view. When it comes to that topic, I spend, honestly, like, more time thinking about, like, I spend more time occasionally, once every few months, looking at Tom Felton and going like, man, I'm so sorry that you're meeting your life's goal like this. You could aspire to be so much more, but all right. Sam Welbo, thank you. Hotels only take payment for reservation if it's a prepaid discount. That's true. That happened to me once. Yeah, that was like some kind of weird, like, travel package thing, if I recall correctly. I don't know. Named like a super robot villain. Anyway, there's some philosophizing whilst Jimmy Blanco was standing here looking off to one side and Windcharger was looking at all of you. Expedia hotel tonight, etc., etc. I'm gonna have a sip. I was actually just talking to a friend of mine recently about how, having doom scrolled myself into oblivion for weeks at a time, at least twice in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years, the way that I manage my brain now, and this is, again, very much by intent, it doesn't always work, but I do my best, is I have escape hatches, because I believe that it is necessary when there is a devastating cavalcade of horror to observe. It's really important, as best as one can, to figure out when one is about 80% full. And that is when one needs to hit the eject button to refresh one's mind and bring the meter back down so that you are back to full. Is it Jamie Blanca? I did not know that. I've always seen the romanization Jimmy Blanca with a Y. Granted, that was, I think, from the ending screen of an arcade game translated in 1990 something. So, but oh, Jaime, really? Is that? I didn't know that. That's, I guess, why everyone just calls him Blanca now. But what was I saying? It's important to eject around the 80% mark so that if you are having a lot of trouble finding the button, you have some buffer time. But, you know, this is a statement many people said, but, like, I am a big believer that it is important to not devastate yourself into oblivion. And it's very difficult for me, because, like, I have a very overactive empathy, and that's not really meant to be bragging, because it's overactive, and it gets in my way more often than one might expect. Oh, this is me yes ending. Well, now it is canon in at least one of the. It's canon for the Street Fighter the movie, the video game. But yeah, it's good to have an eject button. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was sending him literally, here, I'll just, because he said, like, send me some of your eject buttons, and, like, you know, I've talked about this before. Sent him like 3 pottery channels immediately on Instagram, because I was like, here. I have saved myself from a nervous breakdown before by watching a 48-minute long video on YouTube of a teapot being made from scratch. And, you know, that's not going to work for everybody, but that's always my offering to folks if they are kind of, like, cycling the mental drain a bit on the general existential ennui, is, like, check out this pottery. Vangelus going into that already happened. But yeah, and also at a certain point, I can't help you at a, you know, there are limits to what I can do for someone, and I need to look after myself as well. So, you know, I'll do what I can, and then I'll make sure that I'm still functional for the sake of those who need me. Accidental ASMR via craft media is good stuff. Yeah, there's hey, guess a new genre I found that contains a whole lot of that is fountain pen and journaling YouTube. You have to thread the needle a bit because, like, you know, there's varying levels of quality and contents within some of those videos. But yeah, accidental ASMR via craft media. Actually, a really good phrase for it. Yeah, don't forget I'm Canadian. Throw on a grainy documentary about a guy making a sword and grab a warm beverage. Yeah, I'm a big fan of watching a thing being created. So yeah. Anyway, take care of yourself. In my opinion. But you know, I can't do everything. But thankfully, there are people. Thankfully, there is a concept of several vocations meant to help with this kind of stuff, and B, there are at least a handful of people who are pretty good at it. So, like, you know, the math exists somewhere out there. With that said, as we approach the 11th hour Eastern Time, what a great time to start the true wind down. I'm gonna see if I missed anything else in the alternas. I think Jada would nail an Ace Attorney figure. Yeah. Oh wait, no, we got Jamitov Hyman here. Hang on a second. I gotta close the loop on this incredibly important character. This guy's face is really funny. Of course, this is Jamitov Hyman. All due respect to Jamitov Hyman. But, like, there he is. Doing that Hyman thing. I can't make the picture Yeah, this dude is just, aka Dirk Maidenhead, just sitting here going, Hyman! That is you. I am Hyman! Jamatov Hyman. Affiliation, Titans. He has to be in the Gundam card game. Dude with eyebrows like that. The founder and supreme authority of the elite organization Titans. Just as he seemed poised to seize control of the Earth sphere through his power in the Earth Federation Assembly, the intervention of the third faction, Axis, and its leader, Haman, created an opening for Sirocco. Other characters. Character select. Hyman! Not to be confused with Haman, who I've seen in the Gundam card game. It's weird that their names don't float over when you hover over them on this website. Who's this cool guy here? That guy looks like a lone wolf of sorts, but someone who's maybe harboring something a little bit secret. I'm gonna click on him. Whoa. Quattro Bagina. Now that's a good name. He shares a complicated past with Haman Karn, who I have seen in the Gundam card game. He came here to laugh at me. Why would he do that? What a Brady Bunch ass looking. Yeah, by the way, if you're in the States and you're going to TFCon LA, like you actually still want to do that, you should probably solve that sooner than later. If you're coming to TFCon Toronto, which is the best one, then you should probably solve that pretty soon. The hotel is usually the first thing to go, so if you do want to go, then that's probably this is your pop-up reminder to consider that. I absolutely can the frick not with these names. Listen, we're just talking about classic characters like Mineva Lauzabi, and this is a normal guy. Katz Kobayashi. Totally normal guy. I bet this guy's normal. Wong Li. I'm sure I've met someone named Wong Li in person before. What about you? You're between Wong Li and Hyman. Apolly. Is that all? Just Apolly. I mean, that's fine. What about you with the goggles? Basque. See, this happens with Gundam all the time. I'll pick out someone like Wong Li, and then someone will be like, oh, that guy sucks. Normal names, like Jared with an I, Messa. I'm sure that's supposed to be Messer. Sarah Zabiarov. That's normal. Yazan Gabble. That's also normal. You keep picking people who suck. Maybe that's Gundam's problem? I don't know. You can't suck. Come. Okay, well, no. I tried. This looks like a happy guy. Yeah, look at that face. Look at that face. It's Henken Beckener. I didn't know someone was just gonna be called Cum. Look, it's Emma Sheen. That's a normal name. I know that's Hamon Karn. Yeah, that's Hamon Karn. I know her from card games. This guy's got cool hair. Oh, it's you. It's it's Paptimus Sirocco. Okay, well, you don't look like you do on my card. Yeah, Bright Noah. No mustache on this one. And yeah, this is a pilot. This is yeah, Camille. This is Camille Biden. Bidon. Camille Bidon. Can I hang on? I want to know if I can do something here. Can I just what if I Google search this? Here we go. We'll go to Wikipedia. And I'll show you that everyone's normal. You see, you just gotta go to the original. And when you go to the original, then everything makes more sense. So you just look at the cast over here of the white base. You've got Kai Shiden and Ryu Jose and Amuro Ray and Frabo and Sela Mass and Mirai Yashima and Bright Noah and Hayato Kobayashi and Katz Haywin and Let's Kofin and Kika Kitamoto. So you see, like, lots of normal names in here. Like, Slegger Law. that sounds like a swear word. Like, me and my partner have we have engaged in the miracle of life, and we have given birth to a new human, a new life in this world, and we are going to name our offspring Slegger. Oh, he sucks. Okay, well, you know. Yeah, voiced by Tesho Genda, also known as Volfog, I believe. General Reville. Here we go. Some more normal folks. We got Giren Zabi, Dozel Zabi, Degwin Sodo Zabi, Kaisilia Zabi, Garma Zabi, and Char Aznabul. General Revil rules, actually. Okay, see some of them. Yeah, I mean, we all know Ramba Ral. Okay, yeah, they are a family, as I hoped. Makuv. That's a cool way to spell that. So, like, what happened to Gundam? Because none of these people were just called, like Jism or something like that. And I know, you know, Star Wars did that, too. You know, we all laugh, ha ha, Gundam has a character called Cum. Like, Star Wars has a music genre called Jizz. So, like, you know, chicken or the egg, Superman. Anyway, proving Gundam can be normal. In the show, it's pronounced Coom. I thought that doesn't really help, though, in the modern parlance. Oh, this might wreck everything. I found a Reddit thread, and apparently, I don't know if this person's joking or not. Apparently in Tomino's original draft for Gundam Double Z, there was going to be a dude just called Elbow Smash. Look up Slegger Law. Okay, I can do that. Oh, this guy sucks. Look at this. wannabe ass, wannabe friggin' I saw Roy Fokker and I wish I was him ass. What's his history? Hang on, I gotta. All this Gundam talk made my nose stuffy. Oh. All right. You're gonna get this one for free. This is a voice that I try to that I have successfully been paid to use. Slegger was assigned to White Base as it was departing from Jaburo. He was an ace pilot and brilliant gunner, frequently spending his time operating either the G Fighter or White Base's main gun. He had a strong, cheerful, flirtatious, and brutally honest personality. He repeatedly hit on the female crew members such as Mirai and Sayla, but also tried to defend Mirai from what he thought as mistreatment from her fiancé, Cameron Bloom. He began a brief romance with Mirai, which started during the Battle of Solomon. However, Slegger felt that Mirai was too wonderful and deserved better than someone like him, so he rejected further advancement. He gave her a ring that belonged to his mother before he headed out to battle. The other way around, Roy Fokker was based on him? What? That's then I guess, version 2 superior. Alternate fates. Does he get married? Nope. All right. Look at the jaunty angle of this dude's hat. Slegger. It can really, I think it can be really Fokker or Fokker. Going by the katakana, it's always been my understanding it is Fokka, so I go with Fokker. His death shot is in the gallery. He could be in more pieces than this. He could be in more pieces than this. That arm, though. I mean, some people got that, whatever. It's the thing that makes you really flexible. Is he in the card game? Oh, that's not the real card game. Oh, yeah, here. The character of Roy Fokker, well, okay, we're spelling it with the CK, so now I gotta say Roy Fokker, was like the son of Slegger Law. Tomino wasn't depressed enough yet. Hypermobility, aka the big stretch. Gundam Wiki being on fandom, huh? We're still there. Slegger, you're like a... I assume he sounds like, you're like a son to me, Roy. Do I know about Nina Purpleton? No, but is she like, whatever his name, like Pizza Taco McNugget or whatever the character was? He does sound like, oh, I got a good read. Wasn't there a guy called like Pizza Italiano or something? This kind of long silence makes me think all the Gundam people are laughing at the oh, he's remembering the pizza guy. I'm thinking of Nikini Zucchini. I thought there was a pizza guy too, like Pizza Pollo Proletariat or something. Hang on, there has to be a Gundam guy called Pizza. I know there's a Gao Gai Gar guy called Pizza. That's different. That's good. Okay, well, Gundam Italian. Huh? Who's this? Oh, I did. Why are we aborting? What's wrong? It's Riccardo Fellini, the Italian dandy. Fellini is somewhat a ladies' man, having a cool persona to attract women. He was even accused of stealing the girlfriend of Rainer Ziomer and other contestants. Fellini can also be flirtatious, as he was shown hitting on a girl he met at a cafe. As a build fighter, Fellini takes pride in battling, refusing to lose to Sei and Reiji. He was even willing to self-destruct his Wing Gundam Phoenix rather than lose the battle to Isla. According to 9 Barths, Fellini falls into the S-class tier of fighters. He flirts with women by giving them model kits. I mean... I know Job John. People showed me Job John before. This one is new to me. We do have Meme Midgard. The Walking Dumpling? What? Sorry, I only just looked at that part. Oh, it's Finichi. Okay. That's a nice Phoenix you got there. Yeah, there's a little elephant on that guy's shirt. Who's Meme? Is it Meme or Mimi Midgard? Or Meme Midgard? Like, I don't know how Romanized this is. This is like the evil guy. Oh, I hope his name is Meme. We have to stop Meme and his walking dumpling. Hang on, I've got the walking dumpling now. Hang on a second. I can take a look at the walking dumpling. That is such a walking dumpling. What a good name. Okay. Approved. In Fellini's introductory scene, a woman at a cafe receives a built Victory Gundam from the waiter. She's like, "What's this?" The waiter says, "The man at the bar wanted you to have it, and it works." I mean, yeah, that's a little odd, but... like, nothing else happens, right? He's the Italian dandy. I never saw Build Fighters, so I'm assuming there's no stakes. That's a bit that I'm doing. This is very deep. This is some I'm typing out the episode if I'm watching it kind of wiki stuff. That's very long. You have a Gundam MSV PowerPoint. Wow. There's no stakes in Gundam. I remember when Build Fighters was on, a lot of people were telling me I should check it out, and I just never made the time. That's on me. Okay, but really though, what? Gundam fettuccine. Okay. Gundam pizzeria. Try pizza or pizza. All right. I'm getting a lot of Pizza Hut China. I found something new. Okay, here we go. Cargo pizza. Pizza. To reach his new mobile suit, Hathaway Noah launched into satellite orbit using a Galcizon subflight system equipped with a rocket booster. Hathaway was able to activate the RX-105 She Gundam just as the Cargo Pizza came under fire from a new Earth Federation Forces mobile suit, the RX-104FF Penelope. Yeah, you got a guy and you got a Gelgoog, Gunther. I'm looking at the MSV preview. Yeah, and we got guys and we got Ak guys. And then we got Zugox. I have a card of the She Gundam and the Penelope. They are the LRs in ST08 Starter Deck 08. The really disorganized starter deck that's just 2 bundles of cards. Ah. All right, and with perfect timing. I think thank you all for checking out the stream, is what I will do. I wrote into my calendar, to my physical paper calendar I'm using, that I have plans. So, hopefully you see me again next week. And maybe, I'm trying to because I enjoy it, I wrote into my calendar how I want to make streaming work for me. And it's to not pick a day, because I don't want a day to belong to something, but it's to pick 2 windows. So we'll see if that works. Also, I just put up a PowerPoint night. Please check it out, because nobody does, and I love putting them up. And also, there was a review that went up on the weekend of a shark car. You should check that out, too. It's neat. I made the case for curved arms in a recorded medium, finally. Don't forget, that's right, don't forget, whoa, I'm so out of focus. Don't forget, that code is QT Vangelus. You can hear the funny voice say it in the shark car video. Yeah, I will catch you all later. Stay very safe out there. And, we bangin'. Gundam fettuccine.
Let them come.